Right there. And my own children are coming down the receiving line.
Oh my God, that's
Oh, you're just being late? Yeah. Okay.
This is Katie.
You know the seven? Little child. Aren't you looking smart? Asking so lovely today.
This is Kathy, my sister.
How are you?
The Deputy Commandant for Plans, Policies, and Operations, Lieutenant General Dunford. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, thanks very much for joining us here this evening. This is the first night of the Memorial Day weekend, and what I would like to do is just take a minute to pause and reflect on those who have made the ultimate sacrifice in the service of our nation. We have some very distinguished guests here tonight, and at some risk, I'll point out a couple of them. We have our former Assistant Commandant and Mrs. Neal here, somewhere back there. Thanks, sir. We've got Ambassador and Mrs. Lieutenant General Dwayne Thiessen, who is our Deputy Commandant for Programs and Resources. And we have the And there's one Marine, he's Roman Hake, is accompanied by his wife, Christy. It would be hard to describe a more patriotic American than Jim Hake, or someone more dedicated to democracy and all the values that we hold dear. Jim, you can see in his bio, was an extraordinarily successful businessman for many years. And after 9/11, Jim's mission in life became to give something back to our country. And in 2003, he started the Spirit of America. And since that time, Jim has raised millions of dollars in support of our efforts overseas in Afghanistan, Iraq, and the Horn of Africa, medical supplies, school supplies, clean water for people, equipment for security forces in both Iraq and Afghanistan. His mission in the Spirit of America is to send forth the goodwill of the American people through those who serve in a deployed manner. And it has had an extraordinary impact as we try to offer a competing narrative to the narrative of extremism in the Middle East. What Jim has sent forward has represented us all and represented us all very well. As importantly is what it's meant to Marines, and that's why we asked Jim to come here tonight. You all, like I, are very proud of our Marines, the courage and the commitment they've demonstrated over the past 6 years. And I think that comes from several things. One, it obviously comes from their training, it comes from their equipment, it comes from just decisive, engaged leadership that they have. But I have to offer to you that it also comes from the fact that Marines and sailors in harm's way right now are not looking over their shoulder, worrying about if the American people support them. They're not worried about if other people believe in their mission. They know that to be true and are able to focus on the mission accordingly. And one of the individuals and one of the organizations that allows them to do that is Jim Hake in the Spirit of America. And so, Jim, really, one of the biggest reasons I asked you to be here tonight, one of the biggest reasons we're so honored to have you here as our guest of honor, is because of the contribution you've made to the will and the spirit of our Marines in harm's way. And for that, before we break and turn it back over to Colonel Smith, I would like to offer Jim a small token of the appreciation that your Corps of Marines has for you, Jim. Jim, this is an Eagle Globe and Anchor, representative of our Corps, and the inscription on this Eagle Globe and Anchor talks to your mission to spread the goodwill of the American people in support of Marines in harm's way, and we obviously couldn't be more appreciative of all you've done over the past 6 years and all you continue to do.
Thank you.
And Christy, I didn't warn you that you had a part. I'm not sure where you are. There you are. I didn't warn you because I didn't want you to have to think about it. but we also want to give you those. Thanks for everything you do to support them. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Jim Hake.
Thank you, Joe. This is a real privilege and honor, and I have to warn you, I think, that I'm someone who gets choked up every time the national anthem is played. It's involuntary, and it just happens every time, so bear with me here for a moment. When I reflected back on why I do get choked up with the national anthem, it's something I think is very close to what our Marines and others Americans serving on the front lines feel, which is we are part of something much, much bigger than ourselves. And when the national anthem is played, it's an opportunity to reconnect with that idea. And for us at Spirit of America to be able to help and support those Marines and soldiers and sailors and airmen on the front lines who are sacrificing every day for our country, they are connected with, there is something bigger than them individually. And so for us to be able to support them and support great Americans like General Dunford is one of the great privileges of a lifetime. That to be able to have the chance to make a little bit of a difference through what we do with Spirit of America means more to us than anyone that we're serving. I can promise you that. One of the greatest compliments that was ever paid to me and to Spirit of America was by our dear friend Dan Henninger in the Wall Street Journal, who once wrote that we and the Marines are a coalition of the can-do. And since I've come to know the Marines, I guess it's been about 6 years now, I've never met an organization and group of people and men and women that more represent that can-do spirit, which truly embodies and represents the Spirit of America. So, Joe, thank you so much for this honor tonight. Thank you all for coming. It's a great privilege for me and my family. And I hope you all enjoy it tonight as much as we do. So thank you very much.